Hello, boxing fans. I'm James Smith in this corner. Welcome back to Canastota, New York International Boxing Hall of Fame 2015, brought to you by Mexico. Check out visitmexico.com, live it to believe it, and by the WBC. Fantastic Saturday here in Canastota at the hall. The weather's holding out. Tomorrow's the big induction ceremony. We had a great day today. We sat down with inductee Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Also, referee extraordinaire Steve Smoger, who also climbed inside the squared circle with us and did a in-ring demonstration showing the skills that make him, well, now a Hall of Fame referee. Also, Amir jumped inside the ring here in Canastota for the fans and in this corner. And, as always, we were joined by a plethora of pugilistic greats here at the hall.
You know, the jab is the best punch, I believe, in boxing. It'll get you in range, it'll get you out of trouble, and it'll get you, to throw a combination. So if we fight each other now, or if I don't know how far you are from me, so I'll just shoot the jab out. First of all, I'll shoot you out to see how far you are from me. Now, if my jab's not going to land, then my right hand's not going to land. So I'm gonna move around. I'm gonna flick that jab out. Keep you focused. Keep you thinking something's coming. Even jab to the body now and then, which works very well for me. That's gonna bring your hands down. If I shoot that jab, I can come back up with the right hand. I can feint. So the jab is keeping you busy. And then I might even shoot a hard jab when you don't expect it.
Knock the guy off balance.
Knock you off balance, but it's gonna hurt you as well. Obviously, when you hit someone with a good clean jab, like boom, it's gonna stop you where you are. It's gonna knock you off balance, but then it's gonna give me a target to hit. I'm gonna hit you with the right hand, left hook. So the jab is a key. If you have a good jab, if any fighter here, any guy who's an amateur boxer or a professional fighter, if you use the jab well, I think you can win any fight. Muhammad Ali had a great jab. Sugar Ray Leonard had a great jab. Floyd Mayweather has a great jab. It's all about having a good jab because it gets you out of trouble and gets you to throw good punches.
I was coming back from a bout in St. Martin. I'm at Newark Airport waiting for my bag on the conveyor, and the phone rings. It's Ed Brophy. He said, "Congratulations, you've been selected for induction." I almost fell on the Rolodex. I had to keep myself steady. I said, "I can't believe it." He said, "Now look, Steve, this is not for publication. It's coming out at the end of the week." I said, "My lips are sealed. I'll do whatever you say."
You're a loquacious guy. That had to be hard.
Really, really hard. But in that instance, I understood it. And it was receiving the Emmy, the Oscar, and the Nobel Peace Prize all in one for someone in our game. And it's an honor that it's sinking in now because of the way Canastota treats people. Ed Brophy and his staff are exceptional, absolutely exceptional. The care for me, my family, friends, the events, it's more than I ever expected, and I'm truly honored.
One of the great things with fighters that makes them so great are the things you can't see, and that's the ability to recover and fight on another round. And you're one of the best at letting and knowing when and when not to stop a fight. So let's talk about a little bit about that. When a guy's on the ropes, getting hit, and I'll let you take us through it. And I'll be on the ropes, covering up.
Right.
Just throw some combination.
You cannot be fooled by a shoe shine. You've got to absorb the receiving fighter. You visualize his eyes, and I call it his overall presence. Right now, Smitty's good. No signature punches come up. If Hank comes up the middle and hurts Smitty, then I got to go in, and I want to see if you can respond. If not, I'm in. If not, I'm in. A lot of guys today and girls, they'll be fooled by the volume of punches. If they're not landing, and you, sir, have so accurately, if you're defending, I have to give you the opportunity to fire back, the Smitty rule. Fire back. So if you have the ability to fire back, I'm going to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, you know that what gets to me sometimes is they'll say, show me something. But if you have a fighter like a Ray Mancini, who's got a guy against the ropes and can throw 30 punches in a row, and the guy's blocking 28 of those, or
Right.
29. He can't fire back because he's blocking the shot. So, again, it must be a very instinctive thing.
Right.
And just maybe a God-given
You
thing.
hope, another thing today, very, very important. Ladies and gentlemen, we're with the most gallant warriors in the world. They'll be taking shots, and I say in my heart, take a knee. Drop. Recoup. Instead of me stopping it, the 8 count, which I love the standing 8. I used it as a tool. That's out now. So I would say they're so valiant, I'm not going to take a knee. Take a knee, recoup, and come back. They don't do it. So I hope that they circle out and get away from the barrage, regroup, and then go.
Yeah, so that's almost a message to fighters out there.
Yeah, please.
That because of the way things, and rules change in the NFL, NBA, and national. So what you're saying for a fighter is watch some of these guys that are slippery and like a Mayweather know how to get off the ropes and move.
Please, listen, if you're getting absorbing, move. If I see you have the ability to move, I know that you're there. You still have your senses. So that's how I frame that.
My mom and dad are with me. My dad passed my mom 2002, my dad 2003. But during the day, they were not with me. You know what I'm saying? So when I got the call in November that I was on the ballot, early November I was on the ballot, and they said to me, I really, and I mean sincerely, I thought to me I made it. To even be considered, because I didn't think my career warranted it, not only because of longevity. I only fought 5.5 years as a pro. And most people, it's longevity that gets them to the Hall of Fame. I didn't fight that long, so I didn't think it. And that was, and I felt I had great fights, great moments, and I consider myself a great fighter. And again, no false modesty, because greatness is required for longevity. But when the reporter called to let me know that I had made it, when I got the call that I actually made it into the Hall of Fame, I was like stunned. I really was. I said, I got stunned harder. I was stunned more than an Aguayo right hand. You know what I mean? And I said, because I just didn't think it would happen. But to be considered was beautiful. But I said the same thing I told you. I said I didn't think my career warranted it. And he said, no. I said, let me tell you something. You're part of the early 80s. In that group, he said, you guys brought boxing back into the homes of everybody, into the homes on, the family homes. And he said, I don't think HBO or Showtime, certainly not pay-per-view, would even exist now if it wasn't for guys like you. You were part of a group of Ray Leonard, Lex Arguello, Aaron Pryor, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran. Yeah. He said, if it wasn't for you guys, boxing wouldn't be what it is. He said, even though your career was long, he said, it was the quality of your fights, not the quantity of your fights. I said, I'll take it.
Yet another esteemed inductee, Nigel Collins. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Smitty. It's a great day for me.
What did you feel like? Take us back to when you found out you were going to be enshrined here.
Well, it's kind of interesting because this was the first year I was on the ballot. And I was talking to my friend and colleague, Eric Raskin. He was looking over the people and he said, you might not make it this year, but I think next year. So I thought, well, that makes sense. Not many people make it the first year. So I knew the announcement was coming up, but I didn't really expect to get in. And then when Ed Brophy calls, you know why he's calling before he says a thing. So it wasn't a total surprise, but I was expecting maybe to have to wait another year, who knows too. But it's a strange thing, Smitty. When something like that happens, you don't really know how to react. You're happy, but you don't want to brag. So it's one of the best things. There's two things I think I really like about it. Number one, I was voted in by my peers. And so that means I must have done some good work. And number two, this might sound kind of corny, but having that plaque hanging there is as close as I'm going to ever get to immortality. And to know that that's going to be on there a long time after I'm gone, there's something cool about that. I don't, it's just, those are the two things that really sort of touch me.
It's great to be in Canastota, New York at the Hall of Fame. It's always such excitement to be here, because you get to run into all the great champions from the past, the present, future guys that are here. I just met Amir for the first time, and and then rubbed elbows with the guys from the '80s and the '70s. They just, you don't get a chance to hang out with these guys very often because you're all spread out all over the country. So to be here for the whole weekend and You know, we get to have drinks together and reminisce, talk about, you know, great fights and fights
Without hitting each other.
Without hitting each other, and with Amir, he's a future guy, looking for that big fight with Mayweather, and it's really exciting to be here.
Explain the special camaraderie. I think all sports have them, but boxing is certainly unique. I always call fighters the most common and uncommon of all athletes. What is that special camaraderie when you sit down with other guys like yourself? And the great thing is, the respect level, it doesn't matter whether it was a little 4-round fighter like me or an all-time great like you, there's just this bond.
Well, yeah, and I think it's because of what we do. Football players, basketball players, baseball players, nobody is in the ring trying to take your head off, and then because of what you did in preparation for that encounter against someone else, what they went through too, and then it's like people told me when I started acting, and I started taking classes as an actor, you got to open yourself up, you got to expose yourself, and I thought to myself, well, how can I expose myself more than what I did in the ring? I mean, cause that's you open yourself up. You're naked. Your soul is out. And you're in the middle of the square circle against another guy who competing at the best level that you can. And it's something you get dropped, and how you're in front of thousands of people, in front of millions of people watching you on TV, and you're right there on the floor. How more exposed can you be? So yeah, and that respect comes from that. I think it's like one of my best friends right now is Armando Muñiz, who I had 2 wars with, 2 15-round wars, and our wives are best friends, we're best friends, because it's just that respect for understanding that you gave your all, you opened up yourself, you gave your heart. And you competed against each other at the top level, and you're still standing.
This is actually I think I missed 2 years since 2002. I fought at Toro in 2002, and I fought him in May, and I come up here in June 2002. In 2003, I was fighting him on the weekend of this, so I didn't make it, and I've been here ever since, just about every year. So I think I've come like 10 years now.
Yeah.
And it's, there's no place better to be if you're a boxing fan than here on this weekend. And, as long as, even if the weather doesn't, cooperate with you, it's still such a great time, you know what I mean? Just seeing the old-time fighters, the current fighters, and the fans are incredible, And a lot of them are very knowledgeable about the game and stuff. They come from all over the world, so it's just great to see those same faces again throughout the 10 years, and they're still coming.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Dickie, what about you? You have some fun here every time I see you. You're becoming a regular here. You have a whole new fan base. Talk about your thoughts on Canastota and the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
No, it's great because they love boxing and I love boxing. You know what I mean? I still train the kids every day back home. On Sundays we run Fort Hill. There's this hill that Mickey used to run. I still take them up there on a Sunday. But I see these people love boxing. That's what I love.
Yeah.
They're die-hard fans for boxing.
Ruben Olivares.
Oh, thank you.
1991 inducted, a fan favorite, a Mexican favorite, a great fighter. What does the Hall of Fame mean to you?
Eso significa mucho. Significa un reconocimiento para los peleadores que se entregaron, pelearon de verdad con peleadores contrarios buenos y que gracias al Salón de la Fama Ed Profi, que es el presidente que nos tiene aquí.
To me, the Hall of Fame is a testament to all the great fighters, all the great champions, and I want to thank Ed Brophy for bringing us out here and keeping the Hall of Fame going on.
There's a camaraderie, a bond with fighters like no other sport when you guys come together, whether it's you with somebody you fought, another great champion, or a 4-round fighter that's here in attendance. The bond between fighters, because you don't play boxing like other sports, fighters fight. Talk about that bond.
Boxeadores tienen una amistad. Cuando ves un rival aquí, son amigos. Si fue una pelea de campeonato, una pelea de 4 rounds. ¿Por qué es una amistad entre boxeadores?
Okay. Porque somos boxeadores, somos profesionales, peleamos arriba del ring.
We're boxers, we're professionals. We met up inside the ring.
Y ya abajo, ya es otra cosa.
Off the ring, it's another thing.
Ya hola, ¿cómo estás?
We hug each other, even a kiss maybe.
Buenas. ¿Por qué no? Un beso rico de amigos, de profesionales, de campeones.
A friendship of fellow boxers, of champions.
Y además somos seres humanos como cualquier otro.
We're just human beings like everybody else.
And you talked right in the beginning when we did the show about your father. What would he be thinking Sunday if he was watching you being inducted?
As the only son, the love that he had for the sport, to see it flow down to me, a kid from the Inlet, New Jersey, to be enshrined. There'd be no, I'm having a difficulty with the words, but he would just be beyond, he was beyond himself. Rounder at the Tropicana, what would he be today?
He would be, as you should be, as you are, as we all are, very proud. You're in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Congratulations, my friend.
You pushed a button, boy. You pushed it. You know how to do that, Smitty. You're pushing the button, brother.